Well, the British royals have posed for a new formal photograph. Of course, your eye is drawn to the Duchess of Cambridge, Kate Middleton, as it always is.
Yes.
You just can't help but notice her. You notice there, she's the only splash of color in this picture. But take a close look at her tiara.
Queen Camilla asked Princess Catherine to give her royal tiara. This was a significant moment for Middleton, marking her first time wearing a tiara as the Princess of Wales. The request surprised everyone, but it angered Prince William. Family matters overwhelm me a lot. Worry or stress about family issues. That really gets to me. What he did next will surprise you even more. The afternoon sun and a shadowed request. The afternoon sun filled the blue drawing room with golden light. Princess Catherine stood arranging white roses in a crystal vase. This simple task helped her feel steadier after a demanding week. With William away for 3 days, the palace felt empty, and the silence felt heavy. Queen Camilla entered, her shoes clicking on the marble floor. She smiled politely, but Catherine sensed something was off. She had learned to recognize these moments. Courtesy, mixed with a hidden agenda. "Catherine, dear, I hope you don't mind my visit," Camilla said smoothly as she sat in an antique armchair by the window. "I need to discuss something important with you." Catherine set the roses down and turned to listen. "Of course, Queen Camilla. What is it?" "It's about the upcoming state dinner for the Japanese delegation." Camilla's tone became firmer. "I've been thinking about the jewels, and your sapphire tiara would be perfect. Its deep blue color would match my navy gown and make a strong impression on our Japanese guests." Catherine felt the weight of Camilla's request. The George VI sapphire tiara was special, her wedding gift from the late Queen. Even for one night, letting go of it felt like losing part of herself. "I didn't know you planned to wear a tiara," Catherine said carefully. "Maybe your sapphire necklace and earrings would be better choices." Camilla's smile faded. "As queen, I must create a strong impression before our guests. A tiara shows the full power of the monarchy. You understand how important it is to present a united family front at this event." Those words hurt. United family front. It felt like a command hidden behind polite words. Catherine hesitated, caught between loyalty to the crown and her feelings about the sapphires. She remembered the late Queen's words, softly spoken as if offering a blessing. "These sapphires suit you, my dear. They reflect your beauty and kindness." Now the thought of those sapphires on someone else's head, even for one night, felt like a betrayal. But standing against a reigning queen could create serious problems. It could upset the careful balance she had worked to maintain. Camilla continued, her tone sweet but firm. "The late Queen would have supported such a symbol. These jewels belong to the crown, not just one person. Catherine, you have always handled these matters with grace. It would mean a lot to me, and to the crown." There it was, the pressure of the crown, a weight that was hard to resist without facing consequences. Catherine steadied her voice, although she felt uneasy inside. "If it is truly your wish, then the tiara will be available for the dinner." Camilla's eyes sparkled with quiet satisfaction. "How thoughtful of you. I knew I could count on your good judgment." She stood gracefully, smoothed her gown, and kissed Catherine's cheek briefly. "You have made me very relieved, my dear. Our guests will be impressed." Once the door closed, Catherine sank into the nearest chair, exhaling a breath she didn't know she was holding. In the silence of the room, her composure cracked. She looked at the vase of white roses, once calming, now reminders of how duty had stifled her feelings. She reached out to adjust a single bloom, hoping to restore some order to the flowers and herself. Duty had won this round, but a quiet promise grew deep down. The tiara would return to her, and its meaning would not be lost. Yet, in the palace, secrets rarely stayed hidden for long. By evening, whispers moved through the corridors like smoke, from the blue drawing room to the kitchens, offices, and stables. Soon, every staff member knew that Queen Camilla had asked for the George VI sapphire tiara, and Princess Catherine had agreed. The story changed with every retelling. Some claimed Catherine had fought until the end, while others said she had given it up gracefully. But the central truth remained unchanged. The tiara was leaving her possession. Meanwhile, Catherine tried to focus on her correspondence in her private rooms, but her hands often drifted to the sapphire earrings she wore. Their soft glow reminded her of the tiara, waiting in its velvet case to be taken. She couldn't shake the picture of that empty case from her mind. Lady Susan entered quietly, holding a leather folder. "Your Royal Highness," she said gently, "I've reviewed the tiara's insurance documents. If you want to rethink this, there may be ways to make it work." Catherine's head shot up, a flicker of hope crossing her face. "What options do I have?" There's 48 hours of security clearance, Lady Susan explained. There are also environmental conditions during transport. Most importantly, you need written approval from Prince William for any transfer of personal wedding gifts. Catherine felt a little weight lift from her heart for the first time since her reluctant agreement. But by the next day, her glimmer of hope vanished. Queen Camilla's team moved quickly. They signed insurance waivers, got security clearances, and met environmental requirements. Every possible obstacle Catherine could have relied on had been removed, as if they had expected this long before Camilla entered the blue drawing room. Catherine realized bitterly that her agreement hadn't been a choice. It had just been the final approval of a plan already underway. The night of the dinner, a stolen sparkle. The night of the Japanese state dinner arrived. The state dining room sparkled under 3 large chandeliers, their crystal drops spreading light across the room. The long table shone with gold-rimmed china, polished silver, and fancy cutlery. Diplomats, cabinet ministers, and high society figures moved gracefully in elegant gowns and tailored tuxedos. An impressive setting. But Catherine was not there. Officially, she had a scheduling conflict. The truth was more personal. Catherine couldn't bear to watch the tiara, the late Queen's gift, her gift, crown another woman's head. Instead, she stayed in her private sitting room, alone with the glow of the television. Her heart raced as the broadcast began. First came the Emperor's arrival, the formal greetings, and finally, the reception scenes. She braced for what was coming. Soon, it happened. Queen Camilla appeared on screen, glowing under the chandeliers. The sapphire tiara sparkled on her head, its blue stones shining with every camera flash. It was beautiful, exactly what Camilla had aimed for. Commentators quickly praised her choice, calling it magnificent and perfect for her navy gown. Catherine leaned in, her throat tightening. Then she heard it. Speaking with authority, the commentator claimed the tiara belonged to the late Queen Mother. The mistake hit her hard. Her wedding gift was not only seen by everyone, it was being misrepresented in front of the world. By dawn, every newspaper in Britain, and many abroad, would repeat the same error, turning it into public knowledge. Something precious had been taken from her. Not just the tiara, but the truth behind it. Still, she couldn't look away. Every shot on screen focused on the sapphires, sparkling as Camilla smiled and mingled with dignitaries. Photographers aimed for the best angles, ensuring that Catherine's gift would be forever linked to Camilla's crown by morning. As the Japanese emperor admired the tiara, Catherine bitterly wondered what story Camilla was telling. Surely it was not the truth, nor Elizabeth's gift, given in trust. Lady Susan entered quietly, bringing tea. "The cameras love the sapphires," she said softly, trying to comfort. Catherine only nodded, unable to speak. On screen, Camilla raised her glass for a formal toast. The sapphires shone brightly. To the world, they meant royal power. They reminded Catherine of Elizabeth's hands gently resting on her head, whispering words of blessing. Yes, the tiara would return to her, but it would never feel completely hers again. That night, something broke inside Catherine. But this would be nothing compared to what Prince William would do. William's stormy return and discovery. Prince William was delayed returning from a trip due to bad weather. His helicopter had to divert to Yorkshire, turning his journey into an overnight wait. When he arrived at Kensington Palace, he felt exhausted, but he was happy to see Catherine after 3 days apart. He went to her study, expecting a warm welcome. Instead, he found her at her desk, surrounded by papers. To anyone else, she seemed calm, but William noticed the signs of her stress, how she gripped her pen, her stiff shoulders, and the tension in her eyes. "Darling, I missed you," he said, kissing her forehead and sitting down. "How was the Japanese state dinner?" "It went well," she replied, not meeting his gaze. William felt uneasy. "You didn't attend?" "I had other commitments," she replied softly. Camilla represented the family well. That hit him hard. "She wore your tiara," he said slowly, his voice growing tense. Catherine's calmness broke, and he saw tears in her eyes. "She insisted it was fitting for the delegation," she said quietly. "I couldn't refuse." William felt intense anger in his chest as he paced by the window, hands clenched. The sapphire tiara was not just any heirloom, but his grandmother's wedding gift to Catherine. It represented her strength in becoming part of the family, and seeing it used as a diplomatic tool felt disrespectful to her memory. "She asked you to give her your wedding present," he said angrily. Catherine, sounding regretful, explained that it was for duty, meant for official events, and owned by the crown. William responded sharply. "That is manipulation." His anger grew when he learned that the tiara was still with Camilla's staff, waiting for official portraits. This was more than just jewelry. It betrayed loyalty and trust. His inquiries about the tiara revealed troubling patterns. Senior dresser Patricia Hartnell told him there had been requests for Catherine's items, framed as necessities, but they upset her. William's anger turned into careful planning. This wasn't just tradition, it felt like bullying. Sir Edward Young confirmed the staff's worries, pointing out that mixing personal gifts and crown property disrespects tradition. When William called his father for help, Charles dismissed his concerns, saying that jewelry should be worn and that sharing was a family tradition. The call ended without a resolution, leaving William disappointed. If his father wouldn't support Catherine, he would. Back in their apartment, William found Catherine looking troubled. She urged him not to argue with his family, but he couldn't let this go. The tiara represented her worth and dignity. "Tomorrow," he promised, "I will confront Camilla myself." The heated confrontation. The next morning, William asked to meet Queen Camilla privately in the morning room at Clarence's house, where she felt safe. This was a serious matter. Camilla arrived with her usual smile, but it faded when she saw William's tense look. She sat down and tried to be warm. "William, it's good to see you. How is Catherine? I appreciated her lending me the tiara. It looked splendid at dinner." The word lending bothered William. He stayed standing, taking charge of the room. "Camilla, we need to discuss how you treated my wife. What happened with the tiara was unacceptable and cannot happen again." Her smile disappeared. "Excuse me? I borrowed jewelry for an important event, and Catherine didn't mind." Catherine felt she had no choice. William responded sharply. "You put pressure on her loyalty. That tiara wasn't just jewelry. It stood for her place in this family." Camilla's expression tightened. "As queen, I have responsibilities. That tiara represented the crown." William struggled to keep calm. "Catherine has rights you've overlooked. You've pressured her to give up what belongs to her." Camilla stood up, defending herself. "I've never bullied Catherine. Everything I've asked has been for the monarchy." William pictured Catherine's tears. "You made my wife cry over a tiara representing a key moment in her life. That is manipulation." Camilla became defensive. "Your grandmother would have understood. These jewels represent the crown. That tiara was a personal gift chosen to connect her to this family," William said forcefully. Their voices clashed as they defended their views. Camilla finally stated, "I am queen. My position is clear. You are my father's wife, but you have no right to mistreat mine," he replied coldly. This confrontation spread through the palace, causing division among the staff. King Charles received a report about the tension and now faced a difficult choice between his son and wife. Catherine withdrew to her rooms, feeling guilty. Lady Susan advised her, "You are not to blame for other people's actions. William stood up for you as he should." Meanwhile, Camilla depicted the incident as an overreaction from a spoiled son. The press noted the growing tension, highlighting the lack of joint appearances and a cold official tone. Princess Anne tried to intervene, warning William that public disputes would strengthen Camilla's position, but he was determined to defend Catherine. The tiara remained with Camilla, serving as a constant reminder of the widening rift. Tasks became politically charged and loyalty was unclear. The situation escalated when King Charles called William and Camilla to Buckingham Palace for a family discussion. The monarchy was about to face the impact of the tiara dispute. The family meeting, a reckoning in the Regency room. Charles and Camilla met in the Regency room to discuss ongoing family issues. Charles, tired but determined, sat between his son William and Camilla. He understood that their personal problems needed to be dealt with carefully. "We can't keep arguing like this," Charles said. "What we represent is bigger than our disagreements." William brought notes detailing how Camilla had repeatedly asked Catherine for personal items over the past 18 months. He explained that this made Catherine feel powerless. Camilla responded smoothly, emphasizing her role as queen and the importance of diplomacy. But Charles interrupted her. "The sapphire tiara was a wedding gift from my mother to Catherine. It's not part of the crown's collection," he said firmly. Charles announced a new rule. Personal gifts from the sovereign are private property and can only be shared with consent. Then William asked for an apology to Catherine, who deserved recognition for her distress. Camilla looked stiff but eventually said she regretted causing Catherine any upset. Though her apology felt insincere, Charles moved on to restore peace. The tiara was returned to Catherine, who felt grateful but sad, knowing its significance had changed. The family resumed public appearances, trying to project unity, but everything had shifted behind closed doors. William's defense of Catherine changed the power dynamics. Palace staff felt relieved that Catherine was now protected. The Japanese state dinner marked a key moment, revealing the emotional struggles within the royal family. William showed that he would protect his wife, valuing principles over tradition. The experience was challenging for Catherine, teaching her the risks of royal life. However, her quiet strength and William's support helped her through the challenges. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.